We are live.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So we'll go live for now, and Dorothy will join us when she can. But I think, first things first, we should give our individual ratings. But I know, Zoe, that you are not finished. Are you going to continue? Is my question to you.
Um, so actually, when I shortly before I got online, I was like, okay, I'm not finishing this in time for the live show, and I don't know if I even want to finish it. But I'm also so far into it now that I also can. No, I'm not going to finish it. I'm totally fine with it,
So,
and
what
I will
would be
not
your.
continue the series. But I will. And normally I don't rate books anymore that I don't finish.
Mhm.
But I think I will do. I will rate this book. This will be a 1 star for me. If I could give it a 0, I also would give it a 0. But that's not
Wah
possible.
wah wee wah.
Yeah.
And Jenny, what did you rate it?
So I rated it in two different ways. I rated it just like a period rating, like saying like, oh, the writing, the pacing, different kind of
Mhm.
elements like that. And I gave that 2 stars. As far as entertainment, like if I was just rating it on entertainment, I would say 4 stars, but I wouldn't average them out. Like the
Okay.
entertainment was like, whoa, what's going down here? But
Interesting. So, would you give it? What would you give it on Goodreads?
I would probably on Goodreads do a 2, maybe a 2.5.
Interesting, interesting. I also gave it a 1. Because while I was semi entertained, often the entertainment was became anger. And I was just flipping right now, and one of my annotations is this book is so stupid. Like, it was just some moments I couldn't do it, but could I easily read 100 pages of this in 20 minutes for sure. So I think
Yeah.
it's entertaining enough, and apparently the books get better. But I had a lot of issues with story structure, world building.
Yeah.
We could get into that. We could start with the characters.
Yeah.
Did we
We
like
can.
them?
So I don't really. I'm mixed about this. Like, okay, I don't think that Tori and what was it called, Darcy, are
Yeah.
not. I think they're kind of good characters. I just sometimes think by their life choices, um, I would think they have a problem.
Hmm.
Especially in the beginning, like she's picked up the money, and the best thing that she could do is run from the police, but make sure to dip the toilet brush and the toothbrush in the toilet because it's the most important thing in a moment. Like I would maybe think about my decisions in different life situations better, and also I think at the moment I would go in this world and someone says to me, "I'm an offer. Come in, offer." I would turn around and go home.
Hmm.
I think a life in where they live, Dallas, Chicago. I think it's better
I don't know
there
where they are.
than
Yeah.
in this world.
For me, the characters, I think, I, I had issues with them because I understand that they're like, oh wow, this is new and cool and chill. But the absolute minute I was bit in the hallway randomly, goodbye. I would leave. I don't care about anything, and I understand that the authors were trying to make money their main motivation. It's like they need money so they can't return. I don't, I don't know if that's worth it.
Mm.
It's also the fact for me that they Tori and us, they didn't have. First of all, can we talk about how they have saved up $2,000 and it's worth a 6-month rent in the USA?
Oh
This
yeah,
is
so jealous about where
what?
they live.
Where do they live? What is this? This is like 1 square foot. But where do you live? This is like the rent for it.
When was this
But
book
also,
published?
what I what I don't understand is that this Professor Orion came up to them and was like, "Oh, you are the heirs of Adon to throne,"
Mm.
and but I don't really explain to you because I think you're annoying and I don't have really the motivation to do it now. Just come with us, and they go. Like, didn't they learn anything from the past 19 years that you don't go with strangers when they
No,
promise you
they're
some money?
wild.
This is why, like, I will not go. And also, what I hate in this whole world building is that there, first of all, it's none. No one is bothered to try to explain them anything. But also, like the director of the whole school is like, "Oh, you're so important for us because you are also heirs to the throne, but we will not help you in any single fucking minute of your lifetime here, and you need to survive this on your own." But you could potentially be the queens of this whole country, but we'll not help you.
That was something that annoyed me so much because it's like they said 70 times that they don't want to be the heirs. They're like, we don't want this. We just want to learn. And the alpha guys are like, fuck you guys. We're gonna be the heirs. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't want it.
Yes.
And they're like, you're getting bullied because you guys want to be the heirs and we just know it. And they're like, no, leave us alone. I just want to learn how to use fire magic.
It's so.
And I was like, how many times does she need to say it? She doesn't want it.
And also, like, she's so to the director of these schools. She's like, please don't make a fuss about it that we are here. And she's like, okay, don't make a fuss about it. Everyone, could you please listen? We have these two heirs to the throne. We have it here now. Here are they. Do you see this girl with the blue tips on her hair? This one, this one. And they're like, did we say 5 seconds ago?
And they're like,
It was like
no.
this would be my last. This is what would be my last straw.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there was so many, like, I understand, like, they needed the money. I totally get it. But is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know. And I
No.
understand the guys are hot. We've all been there, okay? But, like,
No guy could be that hot that I would make this through this bullshit that they.
and you know what? The werewolf one was winning me over a little bit. He was winning me over at the end where he slipped her a little note. I was like,
Like, okay,
Oh.
you're okay. I
I was
see
like,
you.
wait, what's happening? He's being a little romantic. And then I was like, this is disgusting. Cool shit. And then I was sad.
I didn't even get to the romance part.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm still in the assault part. Every
No, but
day.
it wasn't. But it was just romance that led to us. Like it wasn't
And-
even like.
Like, I wouldn't even call it romance. Like,
Yeah, no, not anymore.
it went from like one page where they were like, "We are going to destroy you," and then the next page they were like, "Well, wait a second," and then it was like, "Why?" Just to get to this end point where they try to kill people.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, it's like it's but what also bothers me a lot. I don't even how I was so. I sometimes when I wrote in the Discord chat, I was already filming. I was so angry when I write everything down below. But what also pissed me off is the fact that they act like 15-year-olds.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Like how in what kind of world does a 20 how old are 20, 21? They're sophomore year. I
Probably.
don't
They're
know what a sophomore year is. Is this
Yeah,
the
but I
second
feel like
year?
it's also not. I feel like they're not following like American. Jenny, you would know more because both Zoe and I don't follow these terms. I feel like they're following like American structure, but I'm pretty sure they're over the age of what would be considered senior high schoolers.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, so but I understand in the beginning
I
is
think it's
that
a
this is kind
college.
of a college.
Yeah, I think
And
it's a college.
in what
Yeah.
kind of world does on a college people act like that? This is for me a 14, 15-year-old behavior.
Yeah.
And even that is not excusable.
I
It's
think that
horrible.
chalks up to the just, this is gonna be really mean, but just the lack of writing like strength, because I feel like they're writing what they believe like cool teenagers, young adults would talk like, when it's just cringy. And I think that that's why they come off younger too, because like they're trying to sound young. And I don't even think these authors are that old. Like I don't even like, I'm not saying they're like 70. Like I feel like I'm making it seem like they're 70. But I think they just like, it's just an out of touch way of speaking to
Yeah.
make them sound cool, that when it's written it comes off cringy because you're reading it in a specific way as well. Um there were just some lines like, oh, the girlfriend of the werewolf guy. What's her
Who
name? That
is this?
fucking girl. Oh my god. When
Hotel.
she's like, my bae is the is the leader of air. So watch yourself, you know? And I was just like, what year is it?
Like, girl, you're an adult. Like, why are you talking like this? Like, seriously. Like, this isn't a joke.
Yeah, it was horrible. And also like the scene when she I don't know, Tori, Darcy, I don't know anymore. I'm currently reading this book and I have no idea who which one is. And also with the boys, I have no idea.
Oh yeah,
4 boys is too many. I This is too much characters. I just lost it. And when one of the twins had her fire innovation and she steps out of the flames and is like butt
and
naked
yeah,
and everyone starts laughing at her, like, how old are you? Are you
yeah,
5? Like, what's going on? Why you're laughing? And they're taking pictures, posted
yeah.
on Facebook.
Everything about it is so cringy. I can't.
And then the school posts, yeah, if you want to show pornography, please share it in your private DM, so not public.
Like,
I was like, excuse me? What's going on?
I think that that's also like, I have a feeling that that was what are their names? Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. I feel like that was their like way of showing how they are cruel, right? Because like
yeah.
that's part of the mythos of fairies. But I feel like you need to explain that. Like I feel like somewhere it needs to be explained that fairies are cruel. Like I think not everybody knows that if they're not like, especially people coming into the series and like, first of all, not knowing that it's about fairies, vampires, werewolves, dragons, and having to demonstrate that fae are evil and tricksters, but like it's just not coming off in the best way. Hello.
I got the time wrong and everything, like a dummy.
Don't worry. The time zones changed this weekend anyway, so we'll all be messed up again.
Yeah, no, Jenny was like, "We're in the live show," and I was like, "Wait, I thought it was at 12." My brain didn't do the time conversion.
Oh, it's like 11 for you?
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry.
So hi. Sorry.
What
Like,
your first question? What did you rate it?
Oh, I gave it a 1.5.
Okay, so we're all within the same boat.
Good.
So we were just talking about the cringiness of like the dialogue and how the bullying is kind of just shown to us but never really like explained, even though I think like it's, if you read a lot of like fairy books, you're like, okay, like they're trying to make the fairies cruel. But if you don't know, like you're like, why are they doing this? Like,
Yeah.
it's so
also,
weird.
I have also one question: is that they say they're fairies, but also they're vampires. What are they? Are they both? Is this like
Yeah.
a fairy, vampire, werewolf, nymph, gargoyle, whatever? Is this
Exactly
a
what you're
mixture?
saying.
Can you
Yeah.
are
All of
they
it.
both?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are fairies. and then they have like groups that they're kind of placed into because they have like other animalistic, from what I understand, like capabilities. And you're supposed to already know what group you belong to because you have either like fangs because you're a vampire, or you can turn into a werewolf, um, stuff like that. And the only way to know is like to go to class, apparently, because that's what the sisters do, is that they go to every class and they just like hope that they're gonna turn into like a mermaid.
But also, didn't they hear anything about genes? Like their parents, like the father has like
Hmm.
3 elements that he can hold, and the mother one. If like one of them is like, I don't know, a vampire, and the other one is a werewolf, like it would make sense that one of them is either a werewolf or a vampire and
No,
not
for
a
sure.
mermaid.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
like
like
genetics.
know.
Did
Yeah.
I hear about this? I mean, someone asked him if they're from Spain. Okay, so
I could not. Oh my God.
I think they should know. And also, like the question, "Are you from Spain?" And then I'm fully known he didn't know that both of them are the heirs to the throne, so that he should know where they're from. They're like, "Are you from Spain?" And she's like, "Oh, and are you also from the murder world?" No, but it's like similar. So there's a Spain in this world.
Yeah, like why does he speak Spanish?
Yeah.
And his only characteristic is that he speaks Spanish, and that's how we're all supposed to know that Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti are like, this is our diversity point, just so everybody
Yeah.
knows, because he speaks Spanish.
Like, we can be diverse. Here you go,
you go.
guys.
Just this one though.
And it was like
this guy.
it was the same thing where Seth was like, "Babe, don't you know I'm polyamorous?" And
Yeah.
then afterwards, he's like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, you could have just kept it in. Like, that would have been cool. Like, okay, Seth is poly. Like, go off. But no.
Let's go, King. And that was when I was liking him, right? So I was like,
Yeah, I was like,
let's go.
okay, give us something.
Like, why even edit? I didn't even get to the point where he said it. Like, why don't just keep? I mean, why just don't keep it? It's like,
Yeah.
I would be okay. I mean, nice that you mention it. I don't know. I don't think if we are like good friends, but
Yeah.
okay. But take it back.
Yeah.
And it was all just to be part of their elaborate schemes.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm poly. Actually, I'm not. And I'm going to make you go through your biggest fear.
And you're a fool if you think I would ever. And then he's like, meanwhile, he's like,
Okay.
to her like every day, and I'm like, what the fuck?
There's one
That was
scene.
the most beautiful, just like, yes, that's exactly what he's doing every single time. And that's beautiful, Kelsey.
And I was just
Thank
like,
you
what
so
the
much for that.
heck? That's how I pictured it every time. I was like, gross.
There's actually one scene that I liked. I adored the scene, and this was when yeah, this was just one scene, and I was like, okay, Slay, this was actually a good move. Is when the other twin had her ear initiation, and the guy was like, cut your hair off or jump out of the thing, and she was like, okay, I jump, and she jumped, and I was like, okay, this is petty, and I love it.
I also think it's like so dramatic. Like I was like,
it was so dramatic, but it was actually one thing that I enjoyed.
It's just that the whole school was also down to bully them, and that's something I could not get behind. Like, I'm not even going to talk about the ass group, but like the just the fact that the whole school is down to bully them, I don't get. Like,
it makes no sense.
Like maybe it's like I kind of understand like you're scared of them, so it's like group bullying, I guess. But it's like that they all laughed and they're all like, ha, 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 and then they post on like Facebook. Why are you gossiping? What is that?
The fact that Facebook exists bothers me. I'm like, no. Why?
My university had a not like a social media, but it was like where you went to like get your assignments and stuff, where you could like comment on things.
Mm-hmm.
If one person misbehaved on that thing, they would be like, unprofessional, delete. We're already scared of the internet. Like, I don't.
It's insane.
I don't get it. again, that's part of them being cruel and it being natural, but it wasn't explained correctly.
It was so bad.
I do want to talk about. There's so much we could talk about, uh, but I do want to talk about if you guys have any ideas of what other secondary mystical creature that they will be. 'Cause
Oh,
it's not
I already
revealed.
know. I spoiled myself.
Oh, me too. We're no fun.
They don't find out until freaking book 3, and I was like, that's ridiculous.
I mean, I found out who they're marrying, so
Yeah, me too.
I looked
did
that
that
up too because I
did
was
that
like,
too.
I gotta know. And I
Jenny,
was
did
like,
you also spoil yourself, or
I only spoiled myself for who they end up with, and I spoiled myself by saying, "Yes, Dorothy, you can tell me."
mhm.
And I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
like now that I know, I'm like, okay, I guess I can walk back through this book and realize, like, yeah, that makes the most sense,
Yeah.
even though it's awful."
and then it
I
makes
hated
sense
it.
because you're like, why are they so suspicious with one another?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, are they like talking about marriage like with each other and like we have to save them? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is
So
happening?
bad.
I had the time of my life reading this, just knowing that everybody was also hating it. Like,
okay, now I know, but
okay, yeah.
whatever.
Like,
It's just-
it doesn't make any sense.
I'm curious, like how they figure it out. I might just read the Wikipedia.
Oh, that I also know.
Okay,
Shout
tell
out
us.
to the wiki that told me.
yeah, I also the wiki though.
But I think like what they become. I won't spoil it just because this is a first book live show and I don't want to like be mean. But what they become kind of makes sense and is like kind of poetic to their story. So like fine. And I feel like book 3 is also like, from what I've heard, is where the series gets like very good.
That's
If I'm not
apparently when it gets good.
Yeah.
I'll let
I-
y'all know
I
when I get
watched
to
it.
book 3.
You're doing it? You're gonna read?
I need to know.
Jenny,
First of all, I
can we
need
buddy
to
read?
know what is going through the boy's head. I need to know what
Yeah.
happens in their head in the awakening. And then
Yeah.
I'm spite reading this. I'm spite reading this because I want to know and watch the sisters be like, okay, you want to mess with us? We will become royalty. We will become more powerful than you, and we will destroy you. Like, I want to see that.
I feel like I'm easily convinced to buddy read with you. I'm like, you know what?
I am honestly now you were saying it. I'm like, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm
I
like,
want to do this.
I
Also,
Y'all
want to
can do it
I'm-
together. I cannot read another one of these books.
I'm
I'll be like,
really
Dorothy.
curious to see.
Yeah.
I watched a TikTok where someone read the 4th book and she cried so hard that she threw up. So I want to know what happened in the end
What
of
the
book 4.
For what? I hope she cried because it was so bad.
Yeah, now she loves the series. She's like, this is the best one I have ever read.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm not following her recommendations anymore. Just
There are so
you know what?
many
Some
better
people love-
romances.
But some people love the series, and like, I thought it was gonna be like an Ice Planet Barbarians thing where I was gonna read it and I was gonna be like, this is charming, this is winning me over, you know. And then like towards
is
page
just
like
bad.
20, I was like,
but to be fair,
you know.
this could actually have a good potential to be a really good series. It's like the writing style was not that cringy. They will act like the age. It would be fine because the actually plot of the story, like they are the
yeah, we didn't even talk
changelings.
about the nymphs.
I don't want to talk about the nymphs.
I
About the
had a
changelings and also
whole
the plot.
rant in my video that I posted yesterday about the fact that
I
there
can't
is
wait to watch
this
it.
subplot.
Yeah.
Because it is a subplot about the nymphs. And I was like, that
And how
was
they
I
suck
thought that
people's
was gonna be
energy.
the plot. Because that sounded interesting, but it's a subplot.
I have a theory.
Oh yeah, the nymph sucking out like the
energies.
The
Yeah.
energies.
The subplot did two things. It made us like Gwendolini or whatever her name is because she was annoying.
Yes.
Oh, Geraldine.
Ger-
You combined one of the twins' Fae names with Geraldine, and it was beautiful.
What's her? So it's Geraldine.
Geraldine.
It's to give her like it's to give Tori and Darcy like a reason to be like, wow, we have another friend. And then it's to also introduce like Orion as like this like savior, and we're like, mayhaps he is a good boy, and introduce like some sort of like underlying villain. And I don't know if I'm giving them more credit for this than they deserve, but like some underlying villain that might be. I have theories about who it is, and I feel like it's like it wouldn't surprise me.
Before we found out Darius's order, I was like, is it Darius? Because that would be kind of dope.
You have to remind me who Darius is.
The dragon.
The one that is the one that, you know, wants to drown Tori.
Uh,
And also, for some reason, tells her that the next time she comes into his room, better be to kneel or for him to bend her over his headboard. For no reason.
And I was like, Tori, there is so little information about Darius throughout the book. It's like the random tidbits you get or nothing. And Tori's like, but that's the one for me. He's a baddie. Like, I want to be with him because I have a thing for bad boys. And I'm like,
I'm very used to it. I went on a motorcycle.
I was like, okay, not like the other girls. Okay, calm down.
Yeah, they tried really hard to make Tori like different.
So bad.
Not like other girls. Like she, like even like in the initiation where they're like, "Oh, sorry, sisters can't be in the same group," and she's like, "You know what? Fire." And I was like, "That's such." I would have done the same. I would have done the same in my not like other girls era. Would have joined fire.
Exactly.
My
Such
not
the
like
obvious-
other girls era.
Such an obvious choice. And Darius is like obviously like the hottie McHottie of the trio. The four. I keep forgetting they're four boys.
Quartet.
Yeah.
Technically,
the siren,
there's
I'm like,
five
what?
because of Orion, because he gets POVs in that stupid awakening told by the boys chapter. He gets POVs in it, and I'm like,
literally about to buy it right now.
for what? For what? For why?
I'm
There's
so
a whole
curious.
book just with a boy POV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Midnight Sun.
I'm ready.
Listen, if this one smut scene in this book would have been including Professor Orion, I would have DNF'd it. Because
Well,
I was just
it's
like,
gonna come.
I was like, this is literally your teacher.
What's
You're
happening in the last 30% of the book? the Wikipedia page did me dirty. Like, what's happening?
There is a totally unnecessary smut scene that makes absolutely no
Random.
sense in the plot. And like of all the people that it could have been, the people that it actually is, it's like, wait.
For what?
We could say it because
Why?
Zoe said she doesn't want to. She just wants to know what happens.
Okay, yeah, it's Caleb and Tori on a desk in a classroom.
Yeah. And he's like, that's what vampires.
Yeah.
He's like, you're my subordinate.
And
she's like, kind of hot a little bit.
It's so weird. It is literally so weird. And
Yeah.
In the first book,
yeah.
I mean, I saw it on Zodiac Academy fandom.com that they're like doing something, but in the first book,
In the first book, and it comes out of
they
like
not have
literally
any
nowhere.
respect for themselves. The twins.
No, that was something else that annoyed the hell out of me. Every time, like they would be like, haha, bullying, you know. Tori would be like, but like, his muscles when he yells at me. I was like, what, girl, please. Or like Darcy would be like, you know, Orion, like, you know, he just bit me and embarrassed me in front of the entire class, but like,
But he's so hot.
low key, he's kind of hot.
Like I cringed so hard when
Yeah, and
they
I'm
walk
like,
in that first day.
girlies.
It was so horrible. I'm actually like shortly after the scene where he bit her, and then like the teacher has a full discussion with a other student who claims this girl. And like, why? What is going on?
if you want to just read the smut, it starts at page 368. Because I tabbed it as, but why though?
Yeah.
68.
Like it could have been literally everybody. And honestly, like I was thinking
I wrote Lamao.
I was thinking at the point where Darius finally shows her that he's a dragon, I was like, oh, this is it. this is what's going to happen. Like, this is what's going to go down. Because before that, I was like, no, it's going to be Orion and Darcy. Because they build it up the whole time where you're like, okay, like,
obviously.
yeah. But then no, they're like, oh, except here's Caleb and here's Tori. And I'm like, but why? And
I think go.
It's mid, like, plot wise, but also like at the end when he's like, I'm only doing it for you, like I don't want anything in return, like I just want to suck your blood. I'm like, bro, like you're in college, and all these guys are like, I'm so good at sex. And I'm like, honestly, based off of your entire personality from the beginning to now, you're not.
Yeah. And like a lot of them are like cringy, and I'm like, I don't even know if like we're supposed to find this hot. Like, I'm sorry, as a former Team Jacob girly, the constant licking and sniffing that Seth was doing, I was like, sir, I need this to end immediately. I cannot. And then when just the bullying didn't make sense. And then the nymph plot, and when they went to the club and they were all dancing with them, and I was like, girls.
The club.
Let's use our brains.
Let's talk about the club. Because I'm still annoyed. They have like the worst day ever. The heirs are bullying them, and then they're like, oh, I guess we'll go out. And then within like, a casual like couple hours, they're like, okay, a truce. And I'm like, for what? For why? What in what world does this make sense to you? That suddenly these four boys are like, oh yeah, let's have a truce, guys.
Yeah, they're like, let's just dance. I'm sorry. Dancing is a language of its own. And we're here to speak.
No sense. And they're like, Miley Cyrus is playing. I'm glad Miley Cyrus exists in the Fae world.
Oh
like,
God. It was so I was like, this is the cringiest. Like, I just couldn't. And then the whole point of that night is so that Geraldine could be Geraldine could be attacked, so that they could be like, we're horrible people. We dance with our bullies, and our friend was attacked.
Friend.
She's now a friend.
Now they realize she's their friend. Before she was just annoying.
Even though they are technically the reason she got attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about Ass for a second? I was like, there's no way that... I'm like, I don't know if this was supposed to be funny. But it was just, again, cringy. Like, what universe do you think that is funny? And it's not like Captain Underpants. Like if it was in Captain Underpants, I would be like, yeah, that makes sense. If it was in SpongeBob, I would be like, yeah, totally. I completely understand. In a book where I'm waiting for a sex scene and I'm just reading, and she's like, Tori, nobody thinks that it's called ass. Ha ha ha. Girl.
No, everyone does. And also, I think it's for sure on purpose, because they have Geraldine name something in a later on book, and she names it, in the abbreviation is rump.
No, this is when I texted Dorothy immediately after reading Ass Club. And I was like, there's no way the club in Zodiac Academy is called the Ass Club.
And I responded with, surprise, it is.
Like, and there were so many, the diction, first of all, like when they said Dickosaurus, I was like,
yeah, that's what I was talking about before, like with Bay and stuff like that. It's like, why do we need to include these cringy? They should have just written like Rafflecopter, and I would have been like, okay, I know when you guys were in high school. Like, but I guess we're probably the same age. I'm probably the same age as these two, because the writing that they were saying, I was like, this is someone who's been out of youth for a while. It was just and then I think the reason the Ass Club also annoyed me was because I think Tori and Darcy are pretty insistent that they don't want to be heirs. They legit want their coin, they want their bag, and they just want to learn. And everybody's infringing on their learning capabilities. And the Ass Club is like just, I think, a better version of the heirs. But I don't think they have I don't see how it could get better from there. Because why aren't they being bullied? Also, is my question. I'm sorry, but if we're bullying the heirs, like we might as well bully the fan club. Where's the
Yes.
inconsistency with the bullying? Why isn't it consistent? I don't understand why Geraldine doesn't get bullied. Like, if we're gonna bully everybody, we might as well.
So normally I hate bullying, but if I have someone in my school have a club that is called S, I would bully them.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you love them so much that you name like it's such a stupid name. And the guys that are bullying Darcy and Tori just for breathing,
Yeah.
they're like this club. They're little cuties. We can't do anything
It's
about it.
fine. Don't worry about them.
They're okay.
I mean, they call it Club S. So what could they potentially do?
No, nothing. Obviously, for sure.
They couldn't even name the club. It's totally fine.
Who do you guys think is the like letting the nymphs into the school? Because that becomes a big plot at the end. Well, a big plot. It becomes important towards the end, and I feel like hopefully it is a continued plot
Hopefully.
because it's
It is,
random.
which is why I can't say anything because
Okay.
I know.
Okay, I had a theory. I wrote it down.
I big spoiled myself. I was like, I can't.
I feel like I figured it out, but I want to ask Zoe and Jenny first.
I didn't even get to the point, so I'm totally fine.
I couldn't even guess. Honestly, like there were parts of the book that I tuned out, and then I would tune in and be like, "This is awful."
Yeah.
And like it who knows?
Okay.
I kind of hope it's the principal or Geraldine. Like if Geraldine is like, actually, I'm secretly.
Geraldine has like a corruption arc.
Now that would be a good plot if Geraldine is actually a spy and is actually terrible.
Because it's giving Vampire Academy.
I've never read that book.
Like the good girl who nobody's afraid of and thinks she's a loser ends up actually going evil. And that would be so powerful.
This was a really good plot in the book.
And it's like,
but
what?
The book was also good, except for this.
So I wrote down that I think it's either Diego or Geraldine.
I would big support Diego.
Okay, so it
honestly,
is Diego.
If it was Diego, I would be like,
okay, so it is.
No.
Because all the stuff that goes down when they go out dancing and what's her name, Sophia, gets like wasted.
Yeah, and he's like, let me bring her home.
I don't get drunk. Like alcohol doesn't hit me, and then it hits her.
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
four shots in a matter of seconds will hit anybody.
Yeah,
it may not hit you right in that moment, but you're gonna feel it later. And then when like Diego's like, I'll take her home, I'm like, you know who else wasn't accounted for? Diego.
You.
Like, what were you doing?
Yeah.
What were you doing back there?
That's who I think it was. Something that I just noticed when I was flipping through my book is that at page 269, I was like, it's only been a week. Wait.
Yes.
I could not believe the time frame in this book.
Time is irrelevant in this freaking series. I swear to God.
They're like, it's our first Friday at the school. And I'm like, it's your first what? Like, it's been 2 months.
And then I thought about it, I'm like, because they haven't gone out and done anything. It's so true.
It really is. Just
everything what happens in the book is so exhausting.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I read it in the Zodiac Academy Wikipedia fandom page, that it's like 1 week later, I was like, I would break down and cry in the middle of day 2. If this was my first day, second day, my whole week, I would not.
Exactly.
The fact that it's only a week, because truly, it is only a week in the whole book.
Yeah, because they have like Monday, they go back to school,
and it's like, how I don't understand how time has just not really existed.
I guess because there's like so many details that she gives that you're like reading it, but you don't realize that like literally their entire day is being described. She's like, I woke up and then I went to go see my sister and then we did like a little jog and then we have to go to class and as you're like thinking about it, I'm like, holy shit! Like I read so much of nothing.
Yeah.
Because they go to every class to discover if they're like a werewolf or a vampire, and every day they have a new class, the siren class.
That
Like-
fucking siren class. Oh my! Talk about one of the most inappropriate professors besides Professor Orion.
Yeah, I think
that was
Professor
sick.
Orion, like, dare I say, a bit better.
Yeah.
Like, dare I say, because that professor, I was like, I feel so uncomfortable right
It's awful. Just
now. So uncomfortable.
the water one too that makes them wear tiny swimsuits. Hate him. That's disgusting. You're a teacher.
Like you are a grown person. Why? Like
Like if you did that in this world, like our actual world, you'd be fired.
Yeah. But I think that's part of their, like, lack of world building, that they're not, they run on, like, a different moral system. But it's, like, not well explained, so it's like we can only apply our ideas of morality onto these characters. But, like, technically, if you're like, it's like, oh well, it's okay because they run on different moral systems than us, so
Get better
That-
morals.
that's why the teacher can pick a student and he's like, you. And they're like, you know what, they're not as angry about it as, like, I think they should be.
Yeah.
Like, they both
Mhm.
Tori and Darcy accept their role as vampire food.
Which, like, I think maybe it's because right away they were forced into that with
Mm.
Caleb immediately biting Tori, but also then they get it explained like it's you don't have a choice until you can fight them off. Which is like that there should be some consent involved here. But
Oh yeah, to explain the lack of consent, crazy.
oh,
That
it's
it's this
terrible.
power that they have not developed
Pegasus,
yet.
the Pegasus scene,
I was like, for
the
why? Like,
Pegasus. I'm still upset. I'm upset about everything in this book, though.
Yeah. No, yeah, the whole time I was like, I cannot believe my eyes are grazing over these words. Like,
Nasty. Just nasty. The whole time. Nasty.
so now that we're coming up to the hour, okay, my first question is, will you be continuing with this series?
No. I
unfortunately,
think I might be
yes.
the only one.
I'm an unfortunately yes too. I think, Jenny, you have convinced me.
Oh, Lord.
I want the pain, I think.
Yeah, I want to know, how does it get good?
Even if I rate
happens?
all of them 1 star, there is something there that I'm like, I want to know what the people are are freaking out about.
Yeah.
I hope you guys don't spend money on these books.
No,
hope-
I have
No.
I have the second book, but I didn't buy them. So, like, so far we're 0 for 0.
Okay.
But the third and fourth book, like, hopefully my library has. I would be honestly
They
surprised.
are all on KU also.
I don't have.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Dang it, Kelsey.
But, like, even if the book is like $4.99, like, I think that's okay.
Okay,
Like, to
that's fair,
support
'cause a
an
physical
author's
copy,
dream. No. Yeah, I
don't
wouldn't
do it. The second book was $28. I've returned it. Don't worry. I returned it after I purchased it. I said, after I finished this book, I said, I can't have this in my house.
So I don't know yet. I actually want to feel the pain to finish this book because it should be fair that we all finished it. And I want to know why she threw up in the fourth book because she cried so much. I want to know what's happened there.
Like, what could possibly happen that has y'all so entranced
Yeah,
and
that's
dedicated?
what it is. That's
In
what
a
it is.
chokehold.
Yeah, like this got you, and how did it do
That's
that?
why I want to know. Like, that's my only reason. I'm like, there has to be something. Like, there has to be something here. I don't get it, but I want to get it. I have major FOMO, and I want to know. So, like, when I finished this book, I was like, I'm not continuing this. I put both of them in my unhaul pile. I'm like, they're. And now, Jenny, you're like, well, And I was like, you know what? That convinced me.
I was ready. I'm ready. Like, I gotta know. And I have to see these girls become so powerful that they can destroy these men.
I mean, I hope for them.
And if not, I'm gonna be on Archive of Our Own. Like, okay, I'm writing this fanfic, and it's better than the books.
I would read it.
Honestly, though, I would read it because it would definitely be better.
It can only be better than this.
As long as you don't put Bay. It.
You're like, all right, y'all, I'm logging onto Facebook right now.
I feel like you have to include Facebook just for consistency with the plot.
Yeah.
And my final question of the live show, if you had to pick a favorite bully boy right now, who would it be? Because favorite character is too easy. I want your favorite bully out of the 5.
Including Orion? Orion.
Yeah. No, including Orion.
If I wasn't including Orion, that's another question.
I mean, I would say the one that was not that prominent with the bullying than the other 3. Like there was one that would
Which
always
one?
stay
Because
away.
at your point, I don't know what you know.
I mean, at least to 57%, we have always like the guy was biting. Honestly, I can't tell them apart. Caleb, yeah.
I would also say Caleb. Because
Caleb's
I
your
don't
favorite?
like the other 3.
I hate Caleb because like the I don't know, the biting assault midday, it's just not my thing. But
It's
there's
not
like
my
one
thing either, but Kelsey asked me to pick, so I have to pick that one because I'm not picking Orion, who is an adult and is. I can't.
But there was one that was not really that there.
It's because I think we know more than you know.
Yeah.
And one of them does something really bad, and I think it's the one that you're thinking of.
Probably.
Oh no.
From a character standpoint, if Orion wasn't involved, I would pick Seth because
I'm sorry, Sniffy McGee.
Here's why. Here's why. Because Seth, like, he was such a good actor. He had her fooled, like
he had me fooled.
From a character standpoint, like that's a cool character.
Yeah.
Like he was totally awful, but he had us going. I was like, okay, Seth. Like,
yeah. To be fair, you're right.
Like that's evil. The fact that he's that evil and was able to do that, like that is like proof that maybe their writing's not totally awful.
Wow.
Like he's evil, but he had me tricked.
That is
Watch me finish this.
my poetic. Now Zoe's all of a sudden she's gonna read the last 30% all at once. If I had to pick, I would pick Darius because I am nothing but a lover of tall bad boys.
Yeah.
And when Darius was like, "I'm a dragon," I was like, "Holy shit, he's special."
Yeah, a dragon. Like say less, dragon.
I was like, "Gold, rich." So I think Darius is my favorite because I know that if I really liked the series, I know that Darius would have been a character that I would be like, oh, he's just a bad boy with like a past. I would be like, I would forgive him. And I just don't feel like, like he made, Tori get naked outside of the cave during the initiation, but has he done anything bad since?
Excuse me, what? Did you really just ask if he's done anything bad since then? Kelsey.
Yeah, like besides like waiting outside of her like room.
Yeah, he's done plenty. What do you
Okay,
mean?
but they've all been bad.
I cannot. Your justification.
I feel like I forgot what he did. I'll be honest. I feel like
he's the main conspirator of the whole end.
And that's powerful stuff.
Oh my god, you're right.
He initiates the whole point of Darcy in the woods.
No, I was convinced with the woods thing and when they turn her into the mud monster or whatever. I was like, is this primal right now?
Okay, I take it back. I think I'm gonna pick Caleb.
Thank you. I was like, in what world, Kelsey? Can we just forgive Darius?
You know what? He turned into a dragon, and I honestly,
Everything else like vanished.
you know, when you have beer goggles, like just
They're dragon goggles.
yeah, dragon goggles. I was just like, whatever. He's just part of the team.
Goggles on.
The golden dragon goggles, and I was just like, you know what? He's just trying to help his friends. Like, what can I say?
No.
No, I think Caleb is the. I also think he's the most interesting because of the vampires. But we also know nothing about dragons. Just to defend Darius for 2 seconds.
I
We
did
don't know.
like that there's like a code at least for like you can't mistreat your source
Mm.
after you've claimed them as your source. I at least appreciated that because I was like, how is this man allowed to bully her this way and then still be like, I can still eat her.
I'm curious, like how her and Caleb don't like do
End up
their
together?
thing. Yeah, like I'm very curious about that. And like Darcy and Orion, I find you see it more. Like, Dorothy, just imagine he's a student, okay? Like, if we're gonna discuss this.
I'm sorry.
Darcy and Orion, you see it a bit more.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I can agree with. I don't like it, but I can agree with it.
Yeah, but I think even like at this I'm saying at this time, but it was like 2019 when this book was written. But like I find like during the Pretty Little Liars era, like teacher student romances were very big.
They were.
Yeah,
And
and
it
like
was just nasty.
and people
Especially
like
because
that.
that one was a minor.
Yeah. At least like
I-
Darcy's like she's just dealing with power imbalance, you know.
I mean, I love to read student teacher romance.
As long as
I'm-
they're both adults.
I'm ashamed because but in the I read two. Vampire Academy is like one of things. He's not really a teacher, but he's still
He's like the coach, I guess.
coach.
Yeah.
You still have like there's still a power imbalance between them. And I read one series by Colleen Hoover.
I know what you're talking about.
But normally I like these types, but now as an adult, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why is this? Is there no one else in this entire kingdom that you could?
Well, she's
keep
definitely
it.
gonna include that Faye thing where they're like they all of a sudden lock like feelings and they're like, that's my mate. But I think if this series was written better, we wouldn't imagine Darcy as so young because they are like college age. I still think it's wrong. I'm just talking about like
Yeah.
pure power and buzz. But I think if it was written better and they didn't sound like children, it wouldn't come off as strange
Yeah.
as it does.
I mean,
Because this book reads very YA.
yeah.
Despite the fact that it is adult.
Yeah.
I mean, Tori and Darcy are 19. I don't know how I was. I can't remember how I was as a 19.
Yeah, like I don't think I was
But
the best.
but this is like they're acting like 16-year-olds. Everyone.
I kind of want to defend it though a little bit, like now that you said that, because I don't think I was any better at 19 than I was at like 17. Like
No, but
yeah. I actually think I was more annoying because in Quebec the legal age is 18. So I think I was more annoying and more drunk. I don't know if I came off any better. But any thoughts? Any final thoughts before we end this beautiful live show that I've been waiting for? Oh man.
I can't wait to read the boys' perspective.
Stop.
Honestly, I should read it because I want to know what's going on in their head. Apparently, not much.
you
It's
guys
fine.
read it. Give me all the tea.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I can't do it.
I'll be like, Dorothy,
Dorothy, you'll never believe what Darius thought.
Dorothy, Darius is actually good. And I would be like, no. Politely, no.
Okay, well, if there are no final thoughts, we will end here. Oh, I have one final thought. Hold on.
Oh.
Hold on.
What's your final thought?
Oh,
Is it about
Next.
the March book?
Yes. Next month, we'll be reading Teach Me by Olivia Dade. This is a teacher-teacher romance, so it's allowed and good.
yeah.
So
I really hope you like it.
I really hope I knew there was the potential that none of us were gonna like this.
I mean,
and that's why I chose
it
it.
can only be better than this one.
We can only
like,
go
there's
up.
much room to the top. But I mean, I read the first, I read the spoiler alert series by her,
Mhm.
and I really adore them. And also, like, it's not really with the different types of person in it than other romance. I hope you like it.
I hope you like it too. It'll be my first Olivia Dade. So
Same.
Yeah.
I hope I enjoy it. So
Very excited.
with that, thank you for joining. Thank you to anybody who watches after. And see you next time.
Bye.